too. Anyways, you were saying something.
Right. So I was talking about. So we had our pilot episode.
Yep.
And that can just be whatever we want it to be. That we don't need any continuity.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, true. So we don't need to stick with art school. I mean, what was the thing we came up with the other day? I have an itchy nose. Good Lord.
So the reason I don't want to stick with art school, just so these people know, is because I have a
Hello,
different podcast idea for which that name would suit better. I liked the idea of like big questions in real time. But it also doesn't, because just the idea of a show where we ask each other big questions and then solve them in real time. And I think that'd be a fun podcast to watch. I don't know it's what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's what we're doing either. Like, we're talking about a lot of things, most of them movie related, and then...
These off. You guys are looking and sounding great.
Awesome.
Alan.
I'm going to shut the door and you guys have a ball.
How dare you tell me I'm looking great? How dare you?
We should have an HR department.
I assume we do.
Do we have an HR department?
I think it's just Paul.
It's just Paul.
Yeah, yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Let me call Paul real quick.
He's busy.
Yeah.
He's busy that day.
He's doing Paul things.
Yep.
He's on little Paul side quests.
Yep. No, but like, I don't know. So I guess the question is like, what do we do on this podcast? Also, my throat is ruined, so I'm going to be drinking all the time and eating a lozenge. So if I sound weird, too bad. Like, I'm not changing it.
Be happy we're here. Okay. They're being graced by our presence.
We made this. they didn't ask for us to make, like, we couldn't be doing anything else.
It's true. But we're here and they're going to be happy about it.
I don't know that's true. Like, I don't think anyone has seen this. I'm pretty sure our first episode has I haven't checked. I haven't seen it.
I didn't even know it was uploaded.
I saw it in the lobby. It was on the
Really?
TV.
Oh,
it was
nice.
on the TV screen in the lobby, and I was like, nice. And then I walked up to Josh, and I was just like, the podcast. And he looked at me like I had three heads, and I was like,
The
right?
podcast.
Like the podcast. Yeah.
I mean, we've done no promotion for it, but
No.
Anyway, hello.
Hi.
Welcome to episode 1.5?
2 of something.
2 of something, yeah.
Whatever this is. I'm hanging. So, there's 2 funny things. One is that like it's just I'm hanging out with Will, my friend.
Hello.
This is like this in a weird way. We are just kind of like recording the continuation of our acquaintance.
Yeah.
This is just how we know each other. Like we are not like.
We have never seen each other outside this building.
Yeah, we have never met each other outside the... I was thinking, like, so you said that, like, I can put this up on my channel.
Yeah.
That channel is the culmination of, like, a 20-year project with, like, 13 people. Like, we're all working towards the same goal. And it is so funny to me that you are the first guest. Like, Northbound is a group of people that have been working on something for the last 8 years together, and you are not any of them, nor do you know what's going on.
I've never heard the word Northbound until right now.
And exactly, right? Like, we don't know each other like that well. Just yesterday, we were talking about, like, you were like, every time I talk to you, I learn something new about you, and that just tells me
Because you drop the most insane lore every time I talk to you.
I've lived a life. I'm sure you have stories. Like,
I've got some.
tell me any of them. Like that, this podcast is just like, I want to like go to the movie. We couldn't record that, but like, I want to just like go and do things with you. And this podcast is just a record of us deciding if we want to be friends. We're just interacting with each other and just kind of feeling each other out, being like, I don't know, you're neat. I like the things you do.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Now, let's record ourselves talking about stuff and see what happens.
To something else.
Yeah.
Like, that's the name of a podcast. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like we haven't done an intro. We're just still trying to figure out a name. It's episode 2.
We can't do an intro until we know what our name is.
Okay.
What are we going to do? Okay, we'll give... What do you like? What do you do? What are your interests outside of this building? I know you like music. I know you like classic rock.
I'm a classic rock nerd from the 60s and 70s. I do a lot of movie stuff, and I hang out with a lot of dogs.
Oh.
And yeah, and that's a honest. You know, if we're still working on names,
That's everything interesting about you.
really, I mean, I don't do much. I'm a film major from Vermont. We don't.
You barely exist.
Yeah, pretty much.
You are a statistical anomaly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a British mom. That's
That's something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
yeah. I make poor financial decisions normally to go to concerts because all my favorite artists are dead or dying. So I
sucks.
flew to Sydney, Australia just to see Paul McCartney live.
Oh, dude, I'd do that in a heartbeat.
It was so worth it.
Yeah, no, like there was oh my god, I remember like I have because Paul McCartney snows at J Peak. He skis at J Peak.
Does he?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's like a whole thing whenever he shows up, and I have to like actively make the choice not to go just to try and see him because that's like the wrong kind of fan. Like I don't want to put that into the world. Yeah, no, Paul McCartney is like probably my single favorite like artist out there. Like
I don't get starstruck in the few times I've
Yeah.
encountered celebrities. The exception was Paul McCartney. Like, of all the concerts I've been to, Paul McCartney is one I was actually
God.
getting like insanely excited to.
and like every story you hear about the guy is just so
Yeah.
good. You hear so many stories about like when he was like a guest on the Daily Show, like they were all told like you're not allowed to walk the halls, like you can't, like you need to
Yeah.
get like keep away from this man, and he would just walk into rooms and just
Yeah.
talk to people. Like he would just be like, "What's that do? What's that button? What does this screen shine?" Like just like and like people kind of figured out like, oh, he's just playing. Like he
Yeah.
just doesn't talk to like he just like wants to engage with humans
Yeah.
and just play with them. He's like a dog walking around going like trying to say hi to people.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Imagine Paul McCartney seeing this. He won't.
He won't.
We can say whatever we want.
Let's start shitting on his music.
I don't know that I could. No, I could.
There's some like I'm willing to admit he's
songs
got
that,
bad
like,
songs.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the song, they're like I appreciate that he was high when he wrote a lot of his music.
You can tell sometimes.
I Am the Walrus is
That is a John song. That was John Lennon.
yeah, I know, but let's be real, they're not that different. like I know, like believe you me, I love the Beatles
Yeah.
probably more than the next guy, unless the next guy is you. I don't know you.
Yeah, oh, believe me, I love the Beatles.
Yeah, Beatles are great. But like one of the things I always think is like whenever people tell me like what is the greatest album in the world, and I like see a poll or something, and Abbey Road's at the top, I'm like, I believe that.
Yeah.
Not my
yeah.
favorite album. I'd take no issue with that being there. Like, yeah, the Beatles are just really, really good, but like, I don't know, man. There's some, like, yeah.
Some questionable choices.
Granted, Eleanor Rigby was my favorite song. Like when I was a kid, like legitimately.
That's fair. Yeah.
It was. I had a weird journey for what my favorite song was. It like in the span of a week, my favorite song had been Eleanor Rigby for years. And then like at some point in middle school, my favorite song became Birdhouse in Your Soul by They Might Be Giants, a band I don't expect you to have ever heard about.
I've actually heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know any of their songs. I don't know anything about them, but I recognize the title, the name.
They're fun. I like them a lot. I loved Birdhouse in Your Soul so much. Like that was my favorite
But are they
song.
giants?
What?
Are they giants?
No. It's so funny you say that. There was a
It's a misleading
concert.
name.
No, They Might Be Giants.
Yeah, I mean, they might be. So I guess they're not guaranteeing anything.
Well, no,
but
so there was I specifically remember. I don't remember who was playing. It was just some local concert in Burlington, and I remember everyone's like dancing and screaming. The music's loud,
Yeah.
and I leaned in to my friend and I'm like, "This guy, like, this sounds like a cross between They Might Be Giants and Bare Naked Ladies," and so they like he looked at me and was like, "They Might Be Giant, Bare Naked Ladies." I was like, "No, no, yeah, no." But my
it'd be a
favorite
great
song.
crossover, actually.
It would be wild. that'd be nuts.
They might be giant, bare naked ladies.
They Might Be Giant, Bare Naked Ladies. No, they both. You know what? I think like one of the Bare Naked Ladies songs was one of my favorite for like a week. But yeah, it went from that to it went from like Eleanor Rigby to Birdhouse in Your Soul to The Room by Cryo Shell, which is like such a
Yeah, all over the place.
like wild transformation of, and now my favorite song is Piano Man, and probably will be
That's fair.
for the rest of time.
You know, I'm kind of a madman. I didn't listen to music until high school, so
How?
I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't actively seek it out, and then in my freshman year I started listening to Billy Joel. So
Oh, so Billy Joel is like what started you on it? What
Pretty
was
much,
the-
yeah.
What was it? Was it Piano Man?
no,
New York State of Mind?
I was driving home with my dad, and Tell Her About It came on the radio.
Really? Yeah.
And I
So-
was like, Dad, who is this? I was like, oh, it's Billy Joel. And then that kind of sent me down a rabbit hole. It's like, oh wow, I recognize a lot of these songs actually.
Yeah. No. So you had been listening to music. You just hadn't
yeah.
like connected with it.
I wasn't like I there was music playing around me,
Yeah.
and I noticed like in the car and stuff.
No,
but like
I like. It is a life goal of mine to like find one of these people and talk to them. I ruined a first date once because like we were just like at a restaurant and it was like, yeah, tell me about like like what's your favorite music? And she was just like, I don't like music. and suddenly it wasn't a date anymore. It was an interview. I was like, no, I need to solve you.
I can fix you.
No, I was just like, I need to know what goes on in your brain. Like, you aren't human, and I need to figure you out.
Like I've never had. It's not like I don't like music. And it wasn't until high school I actually started paying attention to it, and then I became mildly obsessed. And like Billy Joel led to Elton John, and then David Bowie.
That's a natural progression. That's a neat jump, Elton John to David Bowie. I like that.
Elton John, David Bowie, I was familiar with because my mom played
Yeah.
them a lot, and Queen by extension. I already knew about Queen,
Yeah,
but
like you can't not. Like,
jumped
seriously.
to that, and then I kind of just found a bunch of other things as
Mm.
time went on. And here we are.
So my dad's favorite artist was Paul McCartney specifically, but the Beatles, anything the Beatles ever made.
Yeah.
And like I didn't connect with a lot of Beatles, but I absolutely connected with Blackbird to date. Like it's one of the few songs like
Yeah.
when I was learning guitar, I was like, I'm gonna learn to play Blackbird. Like that's why I'm gonna learn to play guitar so I can do this. Norwegian Wood. For whatever, I was insufferable. Like I would use that as like my audition song.
Interesting.
Yeah, if what like and we were given like when you're in high school, you're given the song you're auditioning with. Like if you're going into districts or something, they're like, no, you're gonna sing this. and I was like, okay, but I'm also gonna do Norwegian Wood. Which Norwegian Wood isn't a good audition song.
Yeah,
It's just not.
That's definitely a weird choice.
Yeah, it's like
I don't know nothing about auditioning songs, but like
like I'm gonna be so real. Like Paul McCartney, like the Beatles, they're not objectively excellent singers. Like there's a certain amount of training they like don't have. Like so much of like they don't phrase. Like
Right.
Yeah, like I don't know how much you know about like sung music, but like phrasing is the best way I've ever had it described to me is that phrasing is why people have master's degrees in music. Like it is for you. If you want to know, you know what, I can, I don't know that. We film varsity sports. Have you ever filmed a game where one of the students sang the national anthem?
multiple times, yeah.
Right, that's phrasing. Like, when people decide that a note is 18 measures long and actually travels the full scale, that's what phrasing is. Phrasing is you are given a piece of music and you decide what to do with it. It is your own personal like reading of, you know, like I'm going to make this part smoky. I'm going to add vibrato here, take it away there. There's a lot of like, you know, stolen time. Like this note's going to be a little bit shorter and then I'm going to make that time up elsewhere. Like stuff like that. Like that's what phrasing is. If you really kind of think about it, the Beatles don't do that.
Well, they weren't like trained musicians.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't even know.
just-
They don't know how to read music or
They're just
anything.
goofing around.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
and it worked out really well.
It was awesome. Yeah, no, like the reason Ringo sang songs is because they thought it was funny. Because they were like, hey, we have to have one in every album.
Yeah, and and they're also like they were like encouraging him to sing
Yeah.
songs, but like
Yeah, no, and like I'm gonna be honest, like the Ringo songs I don't think there was a Ringo song I didn't like. Like Octopus's Garden was my best friend's favorite song, and the only reason it wasn't my favorite song is because I didn't want to have the same favorite song as them. I was just a petty kid. I was like, I don't want to do that. But yeah, they did they don't phrase very well, so like it's just kind of done like straight and smooth, and it's all about the melody. So trying to audition off of a song that has nothing to give you, like,
yeah, it's.
but I wanted to, and I made it their problem.
Did it ever work for you, or
I made it into districts a couple of times. Yeah, like I don't think.
All right.
I don't think I did not make it to districts. No, I think I made it every time I auditioned for districts. There's one choir I didn't make it into because the priest at that church hated me. At one point, I was just curious, and I like pulled him aside, and I was like, so if God's almighty, why is like why did Jesus have to die? And they're like, well, because he had to like forgive our sins. And I was like, but couldn't he just do that anyway? And he's like, well, it's the symbolism, like he needed to know that it mattered. It's like, well, he's God, he could make it matter, like he could just do whatever. And like I did that for so long that at like just one point, like every Sunday I would do that, and then at some point the priest just screamed at me, "You have no soul," and we never went back there.
Oh my God!
Yeah, we never went back. And there was a local choir, and I really wanted to sing "I Christmas Carol" every year. I just love it.
Yeah.
And so I went and I tried out for the choir, and they're like, "Great!" And then I saw who was in charge. I was like, "Never mind." And they like got back to me, and they were like, "So actually, I don't know if we can keep you." And I was like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not being there.
You asked too many questions.
Yeah, that and like just a bunch of like just bands for like because like I was good at like mostly trumpet, and like that's kind of hard to work into your band. Like if you're in high school, especially like like early aughts.
Yeah, the trumpets were not in style.
Yeah, what people thought of as like what people thought of as like a rock band, everyone was listening to like Green Day and stuff, and it was just like, no.
I got my trumpet.
Yeah, I was like, but I'm really good. Yeah, that, and I played Wonderwall 8 million times.
You were one of those guys.
Well, no, because I played trumpet and I played piano okay. Like trumpet, I actually played with the band. I played DC with that. Like I made it into youth orchestras on the trumpet. I went to jazz camp. I did like all of that. I played trumpet for 13 years, and then I just inherited my meme's piano when she passed.
Right.
And I would just fiddle on it forever, and I loved it. Like the piano was my favorite instrument, but I was good at the trumpet.
Yeah.
So I would and so if I want to play music, it was my best friend's dad's band, and they didn't want anything to do with us because they were actually good. They were like, no, like my kid can play the bass in the back of one of our concerts, and that's fine, but you are not going anywhere near the stage with us. So what would happen is I would talk to the other music kids in like middle school and high school, and in middle school you don't have a band. You don't have a band in middle school.
No,
you have a play date. You have like people's parents are like, yeah, I'll watch them. We have we have a garage. It's whatever. But it was like, I would say, can I play the trumpet? And they would say, no. I was like, can I play piano? I'm like, yeah. And then I was like, not good enough, and they weren't good enough. So we would play like Wonderwall and Viva La Vida, because it's like the same, it's just the same chords until time ends. And that's all you're doing. So that was what I did.
That's fair. I in high school, I just did film stuff, honestly. So
you never played an instrument?
Well, no, I actually do play piano, but it's kind of a side hobby thing, and so I know how to play songs. And sometimes I'm like on the last Northwest Nightmares I submitted to, which was the 10th one, which would have been 3-4 years ago or something.
Yeah, because the 13th one is on Friday the 13th, right? Like this
Is
year.
that okay? This year, so
Yeah.
it must be. It would have been
I need to be
2
in
years
that.
ago. Yeah, but
I don't know how, but I want to be in that. That's awesome.
but like stuff like that, like I put together my own score for that just by noodling around on the piano for a bit. So I can play piano.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd consider it a professional level, but I have my own purposes
I mean,
for
the
it.
thing about professional piano is that like you need 100,000 hours minimum before they will let you near
Yeah.
a concert hall. Like, yeah, no, the piano is one of those things where just like the bare minimum for playing the piano, like even as a kid, it's like this
Yeah.
needs to be your life. So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a reason that I didn't like take piano places because there were kids that were actually good at it.
Yeah, who actually took
Yeah,
took it seriously.
yeah.
Not that I didn't take it seriously, but like I wasn't playing it when I was 4.
That's like exactly the
I'm
thing,
not the
right?
reincarnation of Mozart.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, your first name isn't Wolfgang. Get out of here. Yeah, no. So like, what got you into film stuff?
It's a long story. So this started.
We have
It's a,
time, right?
it's
That clock isn't accurate.
what time is it? I'm gonna look at my phone.
Yeah, like we don't care.
Yeah.
we don't care.
It is 5:06.
So we have 24 minutes. That's a long story.
Well, not because I like got here at like at 4:30, and we're gonna go for an hour, and then we like.
Oh,
How long have we been going?
I don't know. Uh-oh.
Well,
Okay,
Let's see how long this is.
Yeah, let's pick a time to stop.
let's go
and
with
that's what
like
we'll deal
let's
with.
go with like 5:45, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Sure.
probably close to an hour.
We have to like make sure that the studio is taken care of for best.
Can't be
man.
that hard.
Have you done it? It's
once
not
or
hard,
twice.
but it's not hard, but like we should, take care. Like we
Yeah,
want that. to
I
happen.
guess we'll do the bare min.
No, no, we're gonna do a good job.
We'll do a good job.
Yeah.
I feel like there's another time I'm just gonna like see Josh appear in the window. Josh isn't even here, but he'll teleport or something and just appear in the window and glare at me.
I'm not worried about that. It's just the right thing to do.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
but so film stuff.
So in 2007,
2007.
how
old were you in 2007?
at this time I was probably 6, unless it was after
So
September.
wait a minute. You were born after the turn of the millennium?
I was born in the year 2000.
Gross. Wait. Sure. I was 1997. I'm not that much older than you. I just
No,
feel
you're-
like I am. Except I don't. Like, until yesterday, when you were like, yes, we only overlapped 1 year in high school, I was like, oh my God, he's a child.
I'm 24.
I'm 28?
I don't know.
Like that. I don't know either. Whatever 1997 to now is. Like,
Point is,
yeah.
2007, I'm probably 6 years old. It was probably the summer. If it wasn't the fall yet, then I wasn't 7. But
There you go.
we were at a family friend's house. Our parents were playing poker in the other room. And
What kind of poker?
I don't fucking know. I was 7.
That's a good answer.
I wasn't paying attention.
No, that makes sense. No,
We were
that's a different. My Pepe taught me poker at a very young age.
we were watching TV, and I don't know when we started watching it, but the ending of Raiders of the Lost Ark came on.
Yeah.
And so, you get the melting faces and all that, which you feel like it would freak out a 6-year-old, but no. From that point on, I got obsessed with Indiana Jones and learned a lot about it.
Like,
Like,
what got you? Like, if so, to be clear, like I get
I-
why someone would like Indiana Jones, but what you've just told me is, yeah, I watched a guy's face melt off, and that was,
well,
then I
remember, like,
decided.
just watching what's going on, and it's like, wait, that was crazy. How did they do that? And then I kind of skipped a step because months later, when the 4th movie came out in 2008, it might have been a year later, my parents brought home a rental DVD of it because it was 2008, and
Oh my God.
and they were gonna watch it. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, I know the name Indiana Jones, and then eventually I watched all the movies.
So just like sort of you're at the age where you're just at the mercy of whatever it is your
Yeah.
parents are watching.
Well, that night they didn't watch it with me, but they rented it again for me later, and eventually I watched all 4 movies, and then
There's 4. All right.
there were 4 at the time.
Sick.
We don't talk about the 5th one, but
That was Crystal Skull, right?
No, the fifth one was Dial of Destiny from like 2 years ago.
I don't know. I remember walking into Crystal Skull with my dad and walking out, and he was like staring at his feet, like he couldn't, like he couldn't.
That was
he
me with
just
the fifth one.
He was, he was so.
Indiana
unhappy.
Jones started all of this for me.
Yeah.
I'm here because a man's face melted in front of me. A Nazi's face
awesome.
melted in front of me, but.
That's even better.
But yeah, Indiana Jones led to Star Wars, and that led to James Bond, and that led to Lord of the Rings, and then 2012 happened. I got into superhero movies, and eventually I just became obsessed with all the movies, and then it got to high school.
So just kind of like the normal like media diet. Like
Yeah. Like so, I basically became a lore master on Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and
really, Indiana Jones has lore.
I don't know if I remember all of it, but there was like I know a lot of the details and a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. I could probably name half the actors that were in it, like off the top of my head.
No, I just yeah.
And then I learned.
I guess I don't know. Lore master might mean something different to me. Like, I'm a freak. For certain
I mean, Star Wars. I really like. I arguably know too much about Star Wars.
You can like name the planets and
oh
stuff.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. That's easy. That's nothing.
Yeah, no, like, oh my god, I have a friend that's like, no, Dagobah's on the other side of the galaxy. And I'm like, whatever. Like, I believe you. Yeah.
This is a total side. Remember that one time in the fourth movie of Star Wars where Princess Leia totally tried to just sacrifice an entire planet? They're like, hey, we're on the Death Star right now. Tell us where your rebel base is. Oh, they're on Dantooine. Which is a stupid name considering you already have a planet named Tatooine, but...
Yeah, what if they wrote it down wrong? It's just like...
But, God, what if they went to blow up Dantooine? What happens to all the people on that planet?
She didn't care.
I mean,
Oh, that's so funny. The thing I always think about is just like trying to figure out Palpatine's plan at all from the original trilogy. Just like I remember finishing the original trilogy, not the original trilogy, but the prequel trilogy, and just sitting there and like my first reaction wasn't like it's a bad movie or like I was just like, what was his plan? Like, wait, this movie started over trade wars so he could become the head of the Senate.
Yeah.
So he could, but
then he did a coup, and he took all the power of Jar Jar, and
it's like, but he wanted Count Dooku to die, so he, like his plan, like, wait a minute, so he got kidnapped and then didn't tell like people who kidnapped him, like, what? Like, this all could have gone wrong. Like I don't even remember the specifics, but I just remember that like, wait a minute, what if someone just didn't do that?
Yeah.
like what if Obi-Wan like legitimately like, your plan required other people to be stupid? Like,
I think this is totally guessing on my part.
Okay.
At some point, I'll finish the story of how I became a film person,
Yeah.
but I think so. You got General Grievous, big coffee robot man.
coffee?
Coughing. That's it.
Oh, coughing, yeah.
Guy like 4 packs a day smoking robot man.
Wasn't that like an addition? Like, wasn't that like an accident?
What happened was George Lucas got like the flu or something and was or like a chest infection.
Yeah.
And was coughing a ton, and so he said, "Hey, I'm gonna add this to the character." And he coughed into a mic, and every time you hear Grievous cough, it's George Lucas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because they originally like showed Grievous in like the Clone Wars like.
And then you have
animated short,
the
and Grievous is
Tartakovsky.
awesome in that. Yeah.
Yeah, well, in that you see like having seen that show because I've seen everything.
I did. My roommate recently sat me down and was like, "No, you're watching this," and it was great.
Well, like towards the end of it, Mace Windu comes up and like uses the Force and crushes his ribcage, and that's what causes it in the lore. I don't know if that cartoon is canon anymore because
I have no idea.
Because
George, I can't remember his name, but there's the person the thing that it reminds me of. And I don't think you're going to know what this is, but it has one of the funniest it is one of the funniest production stories I've ever heard about. But there is the writer of the Fate series, like, is on record with one of the most interesting, like, I think about this quote all the time, especially when I hear about like sequels and stuff, where he talked about how he was like, no, I needed people to stop me from working on this because every time I touch the lore, I make it worse. like every single time, like I decide like, oh, what if this character were more important? And like he just like he edits things after the fact, and it just like snowballs, and now there's like basically, except like he's self-aware.
Yeah, and not transphobic.
Oh my, that's a whole thing.
Ooh, an old can of worms there.
No, but like I feel like that's George Lucas to me. Like I legitimately feel like
at a certain point,
makes, like the more he works on Star Wars, the worse he makes it.
Yeah.
Like this is such an awful thing to say for someone who is so integral to the vision, but I legitimately feel like Star Wars is great despite George Lucas. Like, have I ever told this to you, Fanboy? You've seen all the Star Wars stuff. You must have seen Fanboy. I legitimately view Fanboy as a tragedy. Like, I legitimately do. That this guy was, so just for the viewers, Fanboy is a movie about a bunch of Star Wars fans, and then one of them has terminal cancer, and they discover that that like his life expectancy is going to end before the Phantom Menace comes out, and they are just the biggest Star Wars fans in the world, and they're like, we're gonna go on our own big journey. We are going to watch the Phantom Menace. Like they see like in the newspaper or something like, oh yeah, Phantom Menace is done. It's just like not coming out for a while. Like the final edit is in George Lucas's house. And they're like, let's go. Like, like we're going to do this for our friend. Like, cause we, just cause we love him. And I think that's a beautiful story. But I also think that they did all that work so that their friend could watch Phantom Menace. And that's heartbreaking to think about. Like that is a legitimate depressing thought, that like imagine this had actually happened and you did love Star Wars that much that you would go to these lengths.
Imagine the last thing you hear like while you're like dying cancer patient is, now this is pod racing.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine like going through all of that work and being like, oh my god, my friends helped me out so much, and then you see Jar Jar Binks on screen and you're like, what's happening? Like, am I delirious? It's like Fanboy's a great movie. Like I think about that all the time. I'm like, why? Like it's so heartbreaking.
It's not even the worst bit of StarArs content anymore. That's even worse. In fact, the next one was worse.
Yeah. Anyway, so you
oh yeah. Let's go back
to talk about the Oscars.
Oh yeah. Let's go back like a few tangents here. Anyway,
I'm pretty sure at the end of last episode we agreed to talk about our least favorite movies.
Yeah.
You know what? Phantom Menace is on there.
It's not as bad as Rise of Skywalker. I hate Rise of Skywalker.
It's really not, but the one funny thing about Phantom Menace, are you familiar with the Machete Order?
The Machete Order.
The Machete Order is like you take all of Star Wars canon, and then the Machete Order is like the fan consensus of like, this is the order you should watch it in.
So isn't it like 4 and 5, and then you watch the prequels, and then you watch 6?
Yeah, like, basically like that. And then you like can sprinkle other stuff in between if you want to do like the Clone Wars, like, stuff like that. Phantom Menace isn't on the list. Phantom Menace isn't in Machete Order. You just don't watch it. And I think that's hilarious.
Honestly, yeah, that tracks.
It doesn't do anything.
I mean, so you miss out on Darth Maul and Liam Neeson, but that's
whatever. like if legitimately think about it, like if you only see Darth Maul in like the Clone Wars like show, that's a better character. And it's not tarnished by what you've seen before. Like the same with it's just a wild thing. It's really funny. That is just the one thing I think about with Phantom Menace are those two things: Fanboy and the fact that legitimately on the like fan consensus, like, no, this is how you introduce someone to this thing we love. You just utterly exclude 1/9 of it. It's not real and never happened.
You should probably exclude the sequel trilogy too.
I would.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know we talked about this.
It starts off strong, but it goes downhill real fast.
Really? I don't remember. What's the seventh one?
Force Awakens.
Whatever. It's A New Hope to A Newer Hope. That's all I can think. I remember watching it. I'm like, yeah, that happened. And like, I get the argument of like, no, it's like this is just like them having fun and they bring up new ideas and like all that. I get it. Whatever. I hated it.
Yeah.
Like, I hated that. I hated the last one. And I hated the middle one. I honestly did. I know we disagree on this.
I know. I am one of the Last Jedi defenders, and I feel like we're a dying breed, but we do exist because Rise of Skywalker really trimmed down our numbers.
I am just I can't separate its existence from Rise of Skywalker. Like I like the Leave, like. You know what I mean? The Leave. You ever play pool?
I've played pool, but I don't know what you mean by the leave.
Like when you shoot a ball, like there are two things to think about in pool. It's like what am I doing to the ball I'm gonna hit? What am I doing to my object ball? And where am I leaving the cue ball? Like where do I have to play from? What's
okay.
the leave is like what's the next thing I need to do, and how well am I setting myself up?
So the makers of the sequel trilogy had no idea what the leave was.
Yeah, basically, because you get to this point where like the Leave felt like almost so good. Like it like I hate the way that movie ends, and like because there's a
Are we talking
utterly
about Skywalker or Last Jedi or
Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. Okay.
I feel like there's this wildly interesting place of like what like listen like the dark and light side hasn't worked. It has led to the same thing 3 times. I like this idea of like someone, you know, like a Sith struggling with the light side. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Like that's utterly fascinating. I love the way that like Kylo Ren and Rey are just like, okay, I have just killed Snoke. I am showing you that I am trying to meet you halfway. Like I could not do any more to show you that I am willing to negotiate. I have just burned down the establishment. Do you want to come up with anything? Like, let's try anything new. And Rey's just like, I'm not feeling it.
Have you heard of Colin Trevorrow's like original episode 9 script, which is called Duel of the Fates? Like,
okay, I like that. I like that. Good piece of music.
It is like
I like the callback.
It is like I haven't read it and I don't remember all the details. I just know it is like frankly better in every way.
That's not hard.
Like I'm pretty sure like Palpatine doesn't come back and like Kylo Ren's the main villain. I think Rey has like a lot more flirting with the dark side outside of being you're a Palpatine, and it's and you know somehow
So
Palpatine doesn't return.
Yeah, somehow he doesn't return. That's excellent.
Thank you.
That's so good.
I've been making jokes about the goofy lines in Rise of Skywalker for 6 years now.
I mean, Goofy, like, one of the, like, what is the not the George Lucas quote, it was Harrison Ford talking to George Lucas, because, like, he just ad-libbed half of Han's lines.
Yeah.
Or, like, he would, like, deliver them, like, the way he wanted, and George Lucas was like, okay, say this.
George, you can write this shit, but you can't say it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah.
My other favorite Harrison Ford stories, they're talking, I think I've quoted this to you before, or maybe someone else, but they're shooting the trash compactor scene from the episode 4, the first movie.
Oh yeah.
And Mark Hamill, they're doing the next scene, and he's talking to Harrison Ford, and he's like, "Hey, so we were just in like filthy trash water. Should my hair be all gross and disgusting and full of schmutz and stuff?" And according to him, Harrison Ford goes, "It's not that kind of movie, kid. Yeah. If people are paying attention to your hair, we're all in big trouble."
Yeah, like they're not the viewers we're looking for.
Nice.
That wasn't intentional. I'm gonna be so honest with you. That was an accident. I wish it wasn't. To be no. Yeah. Like, oh, is that the Star Wars? That is, isn't it?
What?
On your back of your phone?
No, it's not. That's just a phone case logo.
Okay.
I see the resemblance though, but no, that's just a phone case logo.
Now, do you have anything like Indiana Jones or Star Wars or something that you really like that you've like branded your life around?
Like
just like you wear the jacket, like
I got the posters in my room for one thing.
No.
Better believe I had some good Lego collections. In fact, still do.
Of course, dude. Lego's the greatest toy in the universe.
I still stand by my love of Lego. They're doing 18 plus stuff now. I'm back in the age range.
Yeah, no,
I'm not in the affordability range, but I'm in the age range.
Like, no, it is. Like, the fact that parents could afford Lego sets at all is magic.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's absolutely insane. I want to go to Legoland. I really do. It's like Legos are the coolest toy in the world. A not small part of my media diet is just watching people try to use Legos to engineer like.
Oh, like cars and stuff? Like,
Yeah, well, not just like cars, but like legitimately like watching people try to make like the different mechanical principles like couplings. Like, this is like, this is a Tesla joint. This is a, like, like just like build that in Lego, or like, this is like a bent axle drive gear. Like, what if we tried to make let's make a car transmission. Let's make let's make different kinds of drawbridge. Like, just making stuff with Lego. I adore it.
There's a video I saw where this guy essentially like took like two like Lego cars and put them on a treadmill, and he's like simulating like a car chase essentially, and he's just making different ways for, like this police car to stop this escaping car, and it goes from like having a little like motorized thing that can drop obstacles in its path to making like a giant motorized crane that just drives over and picks it up and just stops.
I mean, that'd be effective and probably within the police budget. I'm gonna be
real.
Like, I think they can afford that.
I mean, St. Albans, we don't have enough police to use up that budget, so we could probably do a lot of fun things with it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Was it in Swanton? Like the sheriff bought a tank. Yeah. It was somewhere.
Are you serious?
It was somewhere in Vermont. Yeah, it was somewhere in Vermont. But somebody bought a decommissioned. Like the police chief bought a decommissioned tank. And just like has a video of them doing donuts, like in the parking lot, and you're sitting there as a taxpayer being like, why?
I mean,
what in Barrie is gonna like?
When
you
your
imagine?
police force has a tank, do you really need that many officers?
Well, I mean, that's a great question.
Like, I'm not gonna. Like, people are obviously might commit crimes when there's like a number of officers out there. They're not going to commit crimes when there might be a tank.
Yeah.
Like the odds are slim because there's not many people to drive the tank, but there's still might get faced with a tank.
It doesn't have a turd on it because
why?
Dude, what did you think was going to happen? Like, we're not pointing tank turrets at civilians. We're not using 155 and 158 artillery. I mean, what? The U.S. uses 155 artillery, I think. We're like, I know we're not NATO standard.
I'm a movie guy. I don't pay attention to this.
No, I think it's like, it's 160 or 180 millimeter round. I think it's 180 millimeter rounds for like most NATO armies, but like the U.S. uses 155 because we actually kind of have like
Is that better or worse than 180?
It does different things. So like one of the things that like we for our artillery rounds basically a bigger shell allows you to just put more electronics in it, so you can guide it better.
Smaller number is bigger shell?
No. Smaller number is smaller shell, but like we use the smaller shells mostly just because the U.S. Military policy has basically been that we can solve every single problem on Earth with enough fighter planes. Like that is what America has decided, that we are going to there is nothing air power can't solve. So like there was like a point like in some budget proposal where like a 4-star general was like, hey, our artillery is outranged by like the things Rheinmetall can make, and like we don't have there's like the M777 or like we have the M105 howitzer that's is like what we use, and its range is like a third of what you can get out of most European countries, and the U.S. response was like, but we could just get a plane to shoot a missile. Like, why? We don't need artillery. We just have more planes. The U.S. military policy is just we're going to continue to apply planes to the problem until the problem is solved. The U.S. doesn't believe in any battle where we don't have like bare minimum air superiority, air, not just air superiority, but like air dominance.
God. Imagine what they could do with Legos.
Oh my God. It would be beautiful. I would love to see them try and build a littoral combat ship out of Legos. Yeah, shallow draft.
So we get
shallow
those
draft vehicle.
YouTubers that like build the Tesla couplings and stuff, and then we have them build a working plane.
I don't know that a Tesla coupling's a thing. I'm gonna be honest.
I just grabbed a random term you used
I
earlier.
know there's like, Goering's, like I know there's like Goering's joints and like other thing, miter joints, but that's like a woodworking term. I don't know. Like I know the only ones that I'm like so sure of the name are like anything I've done in woodworking.
Mm-hmm.
like I know how to make a miter joint because if you cut it wrong, you're screwed. Like, but like, yeah, I love watching like mechanical principles videos and like how did we make this thing work? Like there are so many stories about and like military technology is fun because that tends to be kind of where like we push things to the absolute limit, especially in like America or skunk work. Like there are so many stories out of the like construction of the SR-71 Blackbird where they were like, well, we have this problem of trying, if we want this plane to go faster than a bullet, it's going to be undergoing so much heat that all the metal on it is going to expand, but it also needs to be light enough that we actually can't put a fuel tank in it. So all the fuel is just kind of sitting on the, like in like the bottom of the plane in like just like loose fuel hanging around. But because all the metal expands when you're going like, like at Mach speeds, they actually had to fit the panels on the plane loosely, so there are gaps, and when it's just sitting in the hangar, the fuel is just leaking out of the plane, and they would have executives come over to like, Lockheed Martin was like trying to show off the plane, and people would walk in, look at the plane, and see a puddle of fuel under it, and look back to me, I'm like, are you sure? So they had to design a special fuel that wouldn't light because it turns out that in the like interim process, like imagine you're an SR-71 Blackbird undergoing such intense heat stress that
sounds like my weekends.
Yeah, that you're yeah, but like going under such intense heat stress that you're like expanding all of the metal on your plane. Turns out that will also light gasoline on fire.
Yeah, that's what heat does. Yeah.
So like you have to have a fuel on you're painting the underside of your plane in fuel that might explode like when you're going fast enough. So their solution was just, we're just gonna make a fuel that doesn't burn. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna invent a new fuel mixture. And like it's just the story of like how certain, I really enjoy like learning like mechanical engineering stuff and how it like failed, and all of the best stories are in military hardware. Just like people going like, the Germans were like, yeah, we're gonna make, the Messerschmitt, we're gonna make a plane, but it's not a plane, it's a rocket that's sideways. Like, we're just gonna make a rocket that's sideways, and our plan for landing gear is that you crash it. Like, you're gonna crash it into a field, and maybe it'll still work after.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Another tangent. I just realized why that clock earlier didn't seem accurate. It's counting down.
Oh.
Oh.
It had an hour and 20
Yeah.
on it before.
So that means we've been going for another 25 minutes, I guess.
I don't know. We could either gamble what time it is or use our phones.
I'm literally just gonna.
That's fine.
It's 5:33.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but mechanical engineering stories are hilarious. There's so many funny stories, like when they were making the 787 Dreamliner. They were like, well, we have to use carbon fiber and titanium, but carbon fiber is one of the few things that corrodes titanium. So if we don't want the entire superstructure of our plane to turn to rust midair, we have to do this other thing. It's just a lot of fun. Engineering is great.
They really are just kind of throwing anything at the wall and hoping for the best half the time.
No, it's and when you have like military budgets, it's especially if you're Skunk Works, it's so funny. Like the joke is that like Lockheed
especially if you're
Martin,
Skunk Works, what'd you say?
Oh yeah, Skunk Works. So Skunk Works is a section of Lockheed Martin, an aircraft manufacturing company that like made the B-2 Spirit, the SR-71 Blackbird, SR-71 fastest plane that ever existed. Also, it's like a stealth platform, which is insane.
Are they ever bad at their job?
No, they're really good at their job.
So ironically, you can't say they stink.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea
building up
behind the name Skunk Works was that it was that was the invention of the black budget of just like Congress, like of generals walking up to Congress and being like, "You're gonna sign off on X billion dollars," and Congress like, "For what?" And they were like, "We can't tell you. Sign here, please."
Yeah, that sounds like
Yeah.
the military.
Yeah, and like so like Skunkworks was, but like the idea is that they like if you they like went around in like a black windowless van with a list of like you made a nuclear reactor in your backyard one time, and instead of throwing you in prison forever, they were like, "Do you want to work for Lockheed Martin?" like every person, like every engineering genius that belongs in an insane asylum, they were like, instead, how about we just put them all in a room, give them unlimited money, and see what they make.
That's just called being resourceful, if you ask me.
Yeah. Or just repurposing the US's crazy people.
Yeah.
And for it, we invented stealth technology. Yeah, no. I don't know. I like that kind of thing. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm either I don't know, what's your like basic media diet? Like what do you just watch like before you fall in bed or something?
I'm in a weird place with YouTube where I don't really care about most of the stuff that's on there anymore.
Do you like?
Half the time I'm just scrolling through shorts, rotting my brain, rotting my brain without TikTok.
Yeah, I don't have a TikTok.
I don't either.
Good.
I don't really have any social media.
Social media. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's like the thing is that like I keep being told like that's a black flag. You know, that's a red flag. Like people don't want to hire you, and like I don't care.
I've got a LinkedIn. Is that enough?
Yeah. When's the like? Do you update your LinkedIn like often?
Maybe not as often as I should, but
I don't get like I remember that I was at a point with LinkedIn where it was like it's trying to convince me that it's a social media platform, and I was like, no, it's not.
It's not.
No, I'm trying to get hired.
It's a job finding platform that no one actually likes, but just kind of has anyway.
And like and people won't shut up about like it's like one of those things where like any like tech field or anything, they're like, I don't know, do you have a LinkedIn? And I'm like, yeah, like I guess. Like apparently this is something I'm supposed to do. It's nonsense.
You know, people try to force me to get TikTok and Instagram. Like people tried to force me to get that stuff a lot. Like no one really tries to get me to get Twitter, which we're not calling by its official name because.
No, I don't care. Like,
yeah,
it's one of those things where like I don't care what you rename it. That's not what it is.
Yeah,
like you can lie to yourself all you want. It's Twitter. Yeah. It's always been Twitter.
It's never gonna not be Twitter.
Yeah. I see that all the time. Where like I remember Bungie did this thing where like they had a This Week in Bungie. They would like update their community, and then at some point they started working on other projects, and they're like, well, This Week at Bungie would in theory be talking about all the projects we do. So now it's This Week in Destiny, and everyone looked at it like, no, it's not.
No, that's not.
No, like you don't get to decide that.
It's out of your hands now.
Yeah, no, like oh my god, have you seen that quote it's one of my favorite quotes ever about Uno. Like there was this thing of like, can you play like a draw four on top of a draw four?
Oh yeah, and they said no, you can't do that.
The like creators of Uno were like, no, that's not legal. And then like the best response ever was, thanks for the cards, we'll take it from here. like this is out of your hands.
Like, but like, it's funny because. You know, like the video game version of Uno you can get on like Steam and stuff. You can double stack +4s on that.
Yeah, because they're wrong. Like you're not right.
Is that not the makers of Uno who released that online version of the game?
I have no idea. I
mean, if not, then there's like a risk for like copyright and stuff. Like they're using all the same like branding and logoing and.
Yeah. No.
And
so
everything they're using all the trademarks.
Yeah. It must have been made by them. They just
so either
decided.
It's not made by them, they're taking no legal action, or Uno just isn't trademarked.
How old is Uno? Like it can't be that old.
I'm googling it.
It's one of those things where it's like you feel like that was made in the 30s, but it definitely wasn't.
No, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah.
How?
No, like Monopoly and Snakes and Ladders. I'm like out of frame.
Hmm?
I'm not on camera.
Oh well.
Unimportant. There we go. Hi. Hi.
Uno was created in 1971 by a guy named Merle Robbins, a barber from Ohio.
A barber from Ohio.
A barber from Ohio.
Good for him.
Good.
What was the name?
Merle Robbins.
Marl Robbins?
Merle. Yeah.
I'm not going to remember this, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, I absolutely should be giving people credit where it's due, like, as often as I possibly can. So I try to remember, but I know I'm not.
How long do you think it took Uno to take off? Do you think it was popular right away, or no?
I'm going to be so honest with you. Like, so this is one of the few things I do know about. Like, no, I don't know anything about Uno. I don't know its development history, clearly. But I
don't even know Merle Robbins.
Yeah, I don't know Merle Robbins. Shame on me. No, but like game
what a poser.
Yeah, but like game development is my life.
Yeah.
The thing about Uno is that it's so immediately understandable and so immediately like interoperable. It's just the rules are so self-explanatory and simple that it's one of those games that like just kind of has to take off. Like I feel like not looking anything up, I feel like the problems were it either like it had like absolutely no marketing at all, got bought by someone who did, and then took off, or probably Hasbro. That seems like something Hasbro would do.
I think Mattel has it right now.
Really?
Well, based on what I just read, they bought it in 1991, so it was almost.
I wouldn't be surprised.
20 years.
I wouldn't be surprised if they like got the game and then they poured money into it, like because but like it's one of those games where it doesn't need help and it's good for any audience, and that's like the biggest problem is for making games, especially back then. Is that like games are such a big market now because it turns out people like having fun, crazy.
Weird.
Yeah, weird, right? I hate it. I hate fun.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm no fun. I'm the least fun person you'll ever meet. Like I am like deputy fun police. But the like just Uno is such a like I remember back when my mom was fluent in French and she was like, well, you're going to learn French. And then I went to a school where were only allowed to speak French and write in cursive, and now I can't spell or like, and my handwriting's awful. And I remember to this day only play Uno in French because it was like,
really, you only need to say one word.
Yeah, well, it's
a French word.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh,
it's
Christ,
Spanish.
it's Spanish.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah. No. How many languages can you count to 10 in?
2.
Which 2?
French and English.
Spanish?
I didn't take Spanish in high school. Uno, dos, tres, catorce. It's gotta be close to French.
No. Cinco. Cinco seis. Ocho.
Wait, what's 7?
Seis.
Oh, wait, what's 6?
Oh, wait, hold on. Uno, dos, tres.
Cuatro, cinco.
Cuatro. So 4 screws me up, and I failed. I took Spanish like after I had taken at the time. I think it was like 9 years of Latin, and they are like the counting is similar enough that 4 screwed me, and I would fail. Like I failed earlier units because like I was taking it in college. No, because I literally I would write like uno, dos, tres, cuatro, quinque, and then I would just swap to Latin because 4. So it's like quattro, right? It's got to be. I don't know. In my head it's quator. Because
Cuatro, cinco, seis, siete?
Seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. Yeah.
Yeah, nueve. Yeah.
There you go.
So I might.
No, I was wrong.
I might know something about Spanish. I don't know.
There you go. No, I don't know. Counting to 10 in as many languages as you can. Like, I don't know if I still could, but like counting to 10, but each number is in a different language. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I could do that now. I guess if you count Latin and Greek, that's free, but yeah. I don't know.
Hey, I remembered 7 in Spanish.
Yeah. Did you take a lot of French?
I took it for 3 years.
Are you good at French?
No.
I need a partner.
I can call you a big potato.
Cool.
Tu es un grand pomme de terre.
One of my favorite is that like Papa is Papa and Papas. Like one is Pope and the other is potato, but it's just like the macron that changes it. So like Las Papas, like if you say it wrong, which I might have just done, is the Popes. Except like they're also different genders. So it's but I don't know.
Cooking up some mashed popes. You know?
Oh God! I don't think the big man upstairs would be super cool with that. Imagine waking up to that.
Do you think he'd be okay with baked popes?
That sounds better.
Yeah,
I think that's more. I think that's cool. I think it's better. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, God, they party hard in the Vatican.
A little too hard. That's kind of the problem.
Oh!
Okay, no. There's more wrong with the Catholic Church than just that. Like there can be more things can be wrong. I don't know if my grandma ever sees this.
All right, you're not telling your family about this one.
I legitimately like there was. I don't want to already. Like I have worked on this thing for 20 years and I care so much about it, and I know for a fact that my family are just gonna go glassy-eyed and be happy for me because
Northbound?
I'm a person they care about. Yeah.
Okay.
But like they're just gonna be happy for me because like I'm a person they care about.
Yeah.
But like they're like if I try to explain anything about what I'm doing, they'll be like, okay, how does this relate to like business? And I'm like, well, the market works fundamentally differently, and also we're actively trying to not suck. And they're just like, yeah, but you have to focus on like profits. And I'm like, no, you don't. That's not something you have to do.
Maybe I can focus on joy.
Yeah, like, or just like making a good thing I care about, and if it's good, then it'll work out. Like, yeah.
So do you want to talk about what Northbound is and how it started to someone who has never heard of it until today?
Well, I have a whole YouTube channel about that.
All right, okay.
Go watch that video, man. So yeah, I guess when I was 6 years old, I was at a board gaming convention, and me and my best friend at the time did the thing that kids do, which was run around the hallways and play make-believe.
Yeah.
And then that story never stopped. Ever. And I mean it. Like that, like not the same story. We didn't like make it beginning to end. We like started, like, I think the very first thing we ever did was we were like, yeah, we're at a magic college and it's called Lantara and there's this guy and he's the king of wizards, and like it was like that dumb idiot stuff. And then like in the like sort of modern canon of like the entire arc of the setting, that's actually an incredibly recent development. But like, and every time we would do something new, we'd be like, yeah, that came before, that came out. And then at some point, like I went to college and kind of made the choice of just like, man, that's kid stuff. I'll leave it behind. That, you know, like I can be fine with that never going anywhere. Like it's time for me to grow up. And then one of the, like, basically the person that is the reason Northbound exists, whose name I maybe shouldn't say on the internet without their permission, so I won't, was like, hey, I want to play D&D. Do you know how to do that? And I was like, I guess. I have a setting. I could run something. And he was like, okay, I'll grab some friends. And then it just decided to actually never die ever. And it got to the point in my adult life where I was like, I have spent so much time and energy on this that this retroactively has to have been worth it. I have just that's like the joke reason. The main thing is that it legitimately just is my favorite story. It is. It has in some way like, to a point in my life, like up until I went to like UVM, it legitimately had given me every friend I had ever had. Like I was an autistic nerd, and there's only like God help you, like you're not going anywhere with that. So I just like the story just means so much to me. I have put so much work into it and I care for it. Like it legitimately, it is my favorite story.
So you can't really give up on it now.
Yeah. I can't and don't want to. It is my favorite thing. It is a story that means so much to me, and the legitimate worst part of the position I am in is that I did not go to film school. I am not an English major. I don't have a degree in anything that would help me. Like the biggest problem is that like I wasted my life not going to art school, and therefore I don't know that I'm equipped with the tools I need to tell this story as good as it actually is. And like that's the problem of where I am. But I also have to do something with it, and the one thing I do know how to do is make games. So I am working on a game I have forever. If this is going up, this might actually be the first time I've ever mentioned that. So I don't know, it'll happen years from now.
Surprise!
But, but
if this is going on the Northbound channel, how many people are subscribed to it? How many?
Nobody.
Okay.
Like 26 people maybe. Like it's absolutely.
So you're actually talking to 3 million subscribers right now. Like, oh.
No. I don't. So the thing is, like, basically the reason I made the first video I did on this channel was because there was an anniversary, and I originally wanted to do it on the 20th anniversary of this setting, and I made a video, but I didn't like it. It was kind of a little too personal, and people were screwing around in the background, so I decided to instead do it the 21st, do it better. And then and then the problem was that like anyone watched it, like anyone on Earth. And so the problem became like, well, shit, I have an obligation to these people to do something. So, so I am still working towards, like, I have written a book. I am going to fully voice act it. I am working on a game. There are,
Wow.
I have that in the works. I have like other stories, like a setting guide I want to build. Like there are a million projects I want to do. And the problem is that this project is 20 years old and so big that I have to figure out the best way to communicate it to people and introduce it at all. And it is just rooted in so much like, width and breadth, and there are so many stories that happen in this setting that are all good based on something that I have to make the choice of like, what am I telling? How am I telling it? How well am I telling it? I have written 20 years I have 20 years of, I have like physical paper notes. I have poems I wrote. I have like, stuff like basically like short stories I wrote as a kid, and they're all terrible, but I can like remake them. I am.
So there are literal decades of backstory
of
here.
like stuff that I can make and produce and get in front of people, because if this is my favorite story in the world, I want to share it with people. And that means A, I have to be good enough, and B, it takes time to do well. So I'm in this period right now where I am just like trying to, like, I'm going to make one video a week. That's fine. Like, it'll go up on Friday, but I am not like, I don't think that there's anything on the channel right now that's like good enough that I would like legitimately recommend that someone subscribe to it. I think it's just kind of like, this is what I'm thinking about right now. This is how I feel about X thing and feel strongly. And I don't think that if you're just a viewer or consumer that like this channel is reliable enough, or like you're going to get what you're, a guaranteed piece of content that you're going to like. So, like, adding this podcast to it is going to be fun because I like talking about art and how I think about it. And one of the biggest goals I have for Northbound, like the thing I want this group to do, it's 13 people. They're working on mostly stuff that people on the channel aren't going to see yet. But, like, the vision statement is just, like, make gaming and art a better place. Like, just, like, introduce people to the idea that, like, you don't have to be snooty about this, or, like, if you don't get why this is good, here's our perspective on it. Like, here's, be kind to each other. Gaming is such a, like, insular thing, and a lot of the people in it kind of suck. Yeah. And, like, that doesn't have to be that way. Like, we can.
It doesn't have to be so bad. We can just be nice.
We can appreciate things without being a dick about it. So like right now I'm just in the place of like, I want to talk about like art and what I like about art and life and advice and just things I know from a like as positive a perspective as I can, and just try to like meet people and show them like, hey, you don't have to be that kind of person to like this kind of thing. Like that's kind of where I am right now. And then the book is in its like 3rd stage of editing. That'll go out at some point.
Oh, yeah.
There's like a couple other really big like video essay style things I want to do. And like once there's content out that I'm like legitimately proud of and think that might be like of genuine value to somebody, I think the channel will hopefully once I have made good content, people will probably subscribe to it, is the hope.
Right, yeah.
They might not. It's whatever. It's up to them, not up to me. The artist never gets to decide how good their thing is, or.
I mean, as long as you enjoy creating it, then that's what matters.
No, but right now I'm just trying to like the basic goal of the channel right now is that I want there to be a backlog of if ever someone feels strongly about anything that has ever been made on that Northbound has ever done. I want people to be able to go back in time and see records of people being positive about the kind of thing. Like I want the kinds of people who make things that people like to be good. And I want people to show that like, that like anyone can do it, even this idiot. Like I want the creative space to be a more accepting one. So right now I am mortgaging the present for a future where someone might want to see the kinds of people that made this sort of thing. Yeah, and that's kind of what this is. So, this podcast, I don't mind just kind of being myself and talking about whatever.
This podcast just kind of existing.
Yeah. And like being flawed and like, we can have a mission statement. I think that there are really cool things that this podcast could do, and I'd love to have those happen. But, I want you're not a part of Northbound. I want you to feel passionately about whatever we make. Yeah, sorry, I just talked for a while.
It's okay.
My throat.
Yeah, your throat is probably dying right now. There's been someone moving around out there. What time we got? We're at 5:56.
We should end this.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I know I have to go.
Yeah.
So, that's what Northbound is. What's your immediate reaction?
Like, wow, it's there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, there's a lot going on, and I'm very busy and working very hard.
I mean,
I don't know. I'm trying. That's what it comes down to. I'm trying.
And that's the most important thing. If you're trying to create something, and that's huge. I mean, that's great. I mean, the production company I talked about last time, Room 310, which we're working on our debut film right now. I mean, like that's something like we're
at some point Northbound might need like everything Northbound does right now is I happen to have a coder buddy. I have an artist buddy. Like, and if I ever need anything like done film wise, you might be my buddy. Hey, there you go.
Like I was gonna say, like I can absolutely like if you have like stories you're not sure about, like I'm pretty.
If you know how to edit, I need those.
I can edit.
I need editors so badly.
I am. My base is so. Ooh, we can go back to the old tangent of my journey in filmmaking.
Yeah, do it.
After I got into a bunch of movies, eventually like I got into college at a time because I wanted to do critical studies and maybe write about film, do film reviews, and so I started my education there. So I have a background in actually like film analysis and storytelling analysis and like script telling, which is really helpful when you want to do filmmaking in general because then you can actually
use your degree.
The thing, I didn't actually finish film analysis because I saw Boyhood by Richard Linklater and decided I want to try and actually make these things, and transitioned over 3 years into just regular film production. But like I do have that background in actual analysis, and then the entire base of analysis is being able to look at something and be able to say, this is why I like it, this is why I don't like it, this is why I feel these things. So that's the basic core principle.
I also like aforementioned autism and dyslexia, like, and editors are so important.
Yeah.
I need to hear this story because it sounds utterly fascinating, and I want nothing more than to hear an artist's journey through art. Like, that's one of the most interesting things that can happen to me. I need to go.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned that. So next time, think really hard, and we're just going to have if this was the Hunter Talk Hour, or Hillary Talk Hour, everyone just calls me Hunter. We can have the Will Talk Hour, and I want to know, this is our get to know each other podcast right now. We can turn it into something else later.
And maybe we'll even think of a title.
Maybe. We have options.
We have options. We used to be Will and Hunter talk about stuff for too long.
Yeah.
I kind of thought halfway through potential friendship.
I like that. We are potentially friends.
Yeah.
I don't know. This could age poorly.
But
This could age poorly. Another great title for a podcast.
poorly.
But I feel like we would attract the wrong crowd.
That's true.
Yeah.
But
Anyways, yeah.
this has been episode 2 of
Something.
yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And goodbye. We're gonna leave now.